Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the middle grade novels on the BookTube SFF Award shortlist. So I will link that Goodreads group down below and it has all that information on there, but basically it has categories for books that were released in 2019 that were the best science fiction or fantasy, and people can read and review them, and then in June we're all going to vote for our favorite in each category, and those books are the ones that win the BookTube SFF awards. So let's just jump in. So there are 4 nominees for middle grade, and I read all of them and I enjoyed all of them, some more than others. So the one that was my least favorite was The Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. I read this when it first came out, and I think I didn't enjoy it as much because of my head at the time. I was in Jackson, if you've been following my channel for a while, and I think if I had been at home, I would have had more time and attention to really put into this, and I would have enjoyed it a lot more because it is a really cool story. It follows 13-year-old Min, and she comes from a really long line of fox spirits. This is based on Korean mythology. In order to keep the family safe, her mother has insisted that none of her family uses this fox magic, charm or shapeshifting, and they have to appear human at all times. However, Min does not like this. She wants nothing more than to get out of Jinju. Her world, it's really kind of impoverished, and she feels really held back. Her brother is in kind of the military, and word comes around that he has abandoned his post to follow a hunch and go in search of the Dragon Pearl. Min knows that something is wrong, so she sets off to follow her brother and rescue him, and on the way they meet pirates and vengeful spirits and all sorts of really cool stuff. I will say I did like the atmosphere of this book, and I loved all the mythology in it. It's from Rick Riordan Presents, which is Rick Riordan's imprint for mythology from different parts of the world. So it's an auto buy for me. I will say it did do that, and I love the fox spirit and that mythology. Just the writing didn't really click for me, but like I said, part of that I think was me, not the writing, and it's not the book's fault. So I will definitely reread this again in the future and give it a second chance. But I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. Another nominee in this category is the book Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is a middle grade, and it's a sequel to Small Spaces, which I read last year, and I did really enjoy it. This follows new best friends Coco, Ollie, and Brian, and all they want is to go on this restful retreat with Ollie's dad and Coco's mother. However, a snowstorm happens and the power goes out. Odd things keep happening, and they think they see ghosts, and things happen that they can't quite explain. Mr. Volan, this ghost hunter, shows up, and he says that he is writing about the hauntings at Hemlock Lodge where they're staying. Ollie's watch from the first book, after they meet Mr. Volan, comes up with a message that says, "Beware." With Mr. Volan's help, Ollie, Brian, and Coco reach out to the dead spirits, or the dead voices, and maybe the ghosts need help, or maybe they're malevolent and don't want Coco, Ollie, and Brian to leave the lodge. I enjoyed this one more than Small Spaces. I liked Small Spaces. I thought it was really creepy and really good, But this one was really creepy and spooky, and I listened to part of it on audio, which I do recommend. But I love their friendship, and I love how in this book we get to see their different perspectives. So we get a little bit of Brian's journey and a little bit of Coco and a little bit of Ollie. There were some twists and turns in here that I was not expecting. And normally middle grade books, I think because I'm older, I can kind of see most of the twists coming. But this one I didn't. And I love that they reacted in an age-appropriate way to what was going on, but they were still brave because they love each other so much and they want to protect each other and get out of this situation. And I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely read it again. I'm looking forward to the next book in the series. Next is Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to City of Ghosts, which I read twice last year, and I really enjoyed. But this follows the story of Cassidy Blake, and she has a best friend named Jacob, who is actually a ghost who appeared after she had a near-death experience. She can see and talk to Jacob, but nobody else can. What's ironic is her parents are actually filming a TV show on the world's most haunted places. Her mother is kind of like the ghost expert, and then her father is the history expert. And so they go to Paris and are exploring all the haunted places, including the catacombs. Cass accidentally awakens a spirit of a young boy, and he's a poltergeist. And with the help of her friends and Jacob, she has to figure out the story of this poltergeist in order to send him back where he came from and save Paris as we know it. I enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, but I definitely think that I like City of Ghosts better. I think City of Ghosts was a little more creepy and more gripping, and while this one was creepy and it was a good story and it kept my interest, it just didn't have that extra something that just made it phenomenal. But I'm definitely going to continue with the series. I really loved all of the Parisian scenery and atmosphere, and I loved getting to see the city through Cass's eyes. So I recommend it if you like books like this. And finally, the last nominee is Sal and Gabi Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. This is also from Rick Riordan Presents, and this has Cuban mythology in it. This follows the story of Sal Vidal, and he has lost his mother, and he loves magic. So he is grieving, but he also likes to play pranks with his magic. It also follows the story of Gabi Real, and she is kind of like a Cuban Hermione, if that makes sense. She loves learning, and she's so smart, and she's also all about women's rights and feminism and just wanting to be a lawyer and just be the best that she can be. They meet in the principal's office because Sal has played a prank with a raw chicken that went wrong, and then all of a sudden the chicken wasn't there, and Gabi, unlike everyone else, saw that things weren't quite as they seemed. Gabi learns that Sal can conjure things other than the sleight of hand, like his dead mother. Then they have to team up because their manipulation of time and space can potentially break the universe. I loved this book. I loved the Cuban mythology. That's something that I wasn't familiar with before reading this. And its own voices. It's got great Cuban American rep, diabetes rep, its own voices, and it's got magic, real and sleight of hand. I just thought this whole book was so funny and captivating and endearing. And I love Sal and Gabby's friendship. They just make me happy, and they make me laugh, and they're just so witty, and they're such preteens, but in a good way. I really, really enjoyed this. I love that there's a lot of science and physics in here, but not in a way that's going to overwhelm you or be over middle grade age science. It's just very layman's terms, but you don't really see a lot of science in middle grade, at least as far as I've seen. So I really did appreciate that, and I cannot wait to read the sequel. But I give this 5 out of 5 stars. I think as far as age appropriateness and uniqueness of the plot and what kept my attention and was the most entertaining, my vote is going to go to Sal and Gabi Break the Universe. While I did enjoy all of these books, especially the last 3 that I talked about, this one is my favorite. It still makes me smile thinking about it, and I just love the way that Carlos Hernandez writes. I love how entertaining this book is. Like, genuinely laugh out loud funny. So I highly recommend all of these, but especially this one. So have you read these books? And are you participating in the judging for the BookTube SFF Awards? Let me know. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.